everybody, and welcome to Georambles here in Apia in Samoa. Samoa is a country of 200,000 people or so here in the South Pacific, and Apia is the capital. Now, the thing about Samoa is it's been independent relatively recently. 1962, it was one of the last places in the global South to become independent. You'll remember that after the Second World War there was a wave of independence that kind of washed across what was then called the Third World, including Africa, followed by Asia, and last but not least came the Pacific, and the Samoa was the first of the countries in the Pacific to become independent. And then that was quickly followed suit by a number of others, including, for example, Fiji in 1970 and various others. But interestingly, in the Pacific, colonialism hasn't really finished, and sovereignty remains contested on many levels. There are some independent nations like Papua New Guinea, like Samoa. There are some that have special associations with the former metropolitan powers, such as Niue in the Cook Islands, for example. And there are some which are still completely incorporated, such as French Polynesia, such as Hawaii, such as Rapa Nui. So there are all sorts of sovereignty arrangements across the Pacific, and each one is different. This is what leads myself and John to refer to colonialism in the Pacific as polycolonialism, because there are so many different forms of sovereignty and independence that exist here. And the reason for that is because sovereignty is not something that comes with the sign of a piece of paper. Sovereignty is something that comes through actions. And Pacific Island populations for many, many centuries have exercised their independence and their sovereignty in ways other than those which would be formalized in a treaty that would grant them nation-state power as we in the West would see it. You see, the Treaty of Westphalia was what created the concept of the nation-state in Europe. And that was taken out through colonialism across the Pacific, across Africa, across various parts of the world, and nation states were set up in those places, very much in the image of the West. But the truth, of course, is that sovereignty can be exercised in many different ways. Here in Samoa, for example, there's a fraught history with this. The Samoans themselves have been here for thousands of years, and in different ways have had interactions with different groups from outside and across the Pacific and beyond. In the late 1800s, it became a colony of Germany. Then after the First World War, it was handed over to New Zealand. There was a struggle and it became independent in 1962. The story of Samoa is just one story of many, all of which are different, about sovereignty, independence and nation statehood here in the Pacific. So, Georambles, Apia, Samoa, 2018. Talofa lava.